Good morning.
Good
Congratulations.
morning. Thank you, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Darius said to say hello. Talked to him yesterday, and he was very,
Cool.
very, very, very happy. Where are you right now?
I just walked in my house here in Nashville, Tennessee. We got some shows tonight here at the Ryman, so I'm in town for a change.
If I told you 5 years ago you'd be on Saturday Night Live, you'd have a couple of Grammys, what would you have said?
No, you're wrong. I'd have called you a liar for sure.
What changed?
I don't know. Just the stars lining up. Yeah, I've always kind of approached things the same way. I haven't really changed what I was trying to do too much. Maybe the kind of music I was playing changed, but the way I was trying to do it always stayed the same. Just do things that I liked, and hopefully that meant somebody else would like it.
But
it turned out.
You were writing songs for other people. Would you rather have something for you or write something for somebody else?
Oh, I like both. I like to write all kinds of songs and all different kinds of songs, and I like both. It's always neat to me to write a song and then have somebody else interpret it, or put their own artistry on it, and see what that turns into. And some of the things that I've written that wind up being hits for other people, I'm quite sure wouldn't be hits without those people singing those songs. So, I could have probably sung those songs, but they wouldn't to a lesser result, I'm sure. So,
well, Adele then did a cover of "If It Hadn't Been for Love."
That's correct.
Okay, when you hear that Adele is doing it, what was your reaction?
It's a really funny story. This was before the 21 record came out, the really one that, she had the 19 record that kind of, I think she wound up winning Best New Artist for the Grammy for that. And I actually got an email from Ken Irwin, who runs Rounder Records. I was kind of in transition from a band called the Steel Drivers I was in at the time, and Ken emailed me and said, "Hey, Adele was doing this song. If it hadn't been for love, you should see if you could get your publishing company to really push her to put it on a record." I think she put it out on YouTube or something, as a cover before it ever wound up on a record somewhere. And to which I replied, "That's great. Who's Adele? I didn't know." So, it's one of those happy, ignorant moments.
I know that she covered it on tour when she went out.
Well, that song wound up a few different places. If you bought the 21 record somewhere other than the United States, it was like a bonus track on there. But then it was also on like a live DVD, and I think that was the only two places it wound up. Or there may have been a live like CD, something that it wound up on. But yeah, it wound up kind of having a life outside of the Steel Drivers, which was a bluegrass band that I was in for a couple of records.
He's Chris Stapleton, country singer, songwriter, won a couple of Grammys. The difference in being famous now at what are you, 37, as opposed to, say, 22, 23? How would you have handled it differently, Chris?
Well, it probably wouldn't have been a good thing at 22, 23. Although I probably could have physically handled it a lot better. It's the demands of it, of things that you need to do and want to do are a little harder to keep up with when you're my age versus 23. But it's all good, I probably for the best. I probably would have partied a little too much if I'd have been 23 and had this going on. So,
what's tougher, writing a song or performing a song?
Oh, I wouldn't describe either one as tough because I love doing both so much, and I'm one of those guys who only likes to do things if it feels easy to him. So, and that's kind of dictated my career path. So, I really don't. Those are both happy places for me, and things that I enjoy.
You grew up in Kentucky?
Yes, sir.
Kentucky Wildcat fan?
Yes, I probably not to the degree that I should be. I'm not, I'm not crazy all the time, just keeping up with it. But everybody in my family is a Kentucky Wildcat fan, and I went to UK for a minute, and I have some definite UK ties. I'm not allowed to be a Louisville fan because I'm not from Louisville. So,
wait,
so if you're from Kentucky, you're either a Kentucky or a Louisville fan. That's the way it goes.
Wait, you went to UK for a minute? What happened?
No, it wasn't for me.
Was it your choice or their choice, Chris?
Mine.
Oh, okay.
Mine. It just wasn't for me. I was in business school there for a minute, but.
I was told to ask you about the Dan Marino story.
Yeah, I had a really interesting Dan Marino. We were out on sort of a radio tour, I guess, and they had flown us in for whatever reason into, I think it was Philadelphia, a day early. And so we had this whole day of to be tourists in Philadelphia, and we're coming in from that day, and it culminated in taking the guys to a pub or something, and it wasn't late. It was 8:30 or 9, and as we're walking in the lobby, we're all kind of walking single file, and this guy walks by, and one of the guys in the band turns around and says, "Hey, is that Dan Marino?" And I was like, "Yeah, maybe I think it was." And they're like, "Well, we're going to go." He was on his way to the restaurant bar there in the hotel, or seemed to be, and so the guys were headed that way too, and I was going up the room to change or something, or I don't know what I was doing. But anyway, I came back down, and here they are. They're having this conversation with Dan Marino, and we wound up, which Dan had, I guess, struck up asking him what they did. And he was there shooting a Nutrisystem commercial or something. But we wound up hanging out all night long, and it culminated in we're having this conversation. The bartender's kind of sitting there, and Dan's like, if there was a guitar here right now, you'd get up and play, right? Talking about how much you love music, versus sports. And I was like, yeah, if there was a football here right now, you'd throw it around, wouldn't you? And the bartender's like, give me 5 minutes. And so the bartender disappears for a minute and comes back with a football. And so the drummer takes off across the lobby, and Dan throws a pass at him, which the drummer, of course, dropped. and then the manager was like, oh, come on, guys, you're going to have to take it outside. So we took it outside, and we threw the ball around with Dan Marino in the hotel lobby of the airport, whatever it was.
Nice.
And it was one of the most amazing random circumstances ever. And Dan was really sweet and tossed the football around with a bunch of musicians. It was all of us were kids in a candy store,
If we come to one of your shows, will you pretend to know us?
Absolutely.
I mean, you can fake it if you need to, Chris, but just like, hey, Dan's here.
Man, I'm faking it all the time. So
you've done a great job the last 10 minutes here faking it, Chris. So you're going to kill it when you see us. When we're going to have signs. We're going to have cowboy hats like you. Yep, we're going to.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we'll just do it up and let you know we were there. We were there in the beginning when nobody was there. When we didn't know who Adele was either. That's when we were there with you, Chris.
That's right.
Hey, congrats. Great story here, and keep cranking out the great music.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
All right, that's Chris Stapleton.